closer shifted hollow peak, where weather towers watch the northern range. 3 technicians and a concrete station, miles beyond the nearest mountain town. At 1:16, the pressure started falling, though every forecast promised stable skies. Then an unused receiver in the corner lit a single amber light. The speaker cracked, a woman's voice emerged between the waves of static. Station 4, visibility is gone. We have 6 people living near the eastern marker. Then silence, our chief technician looked at me. Station 4, closed 38 years ago. Same frequency, same mountain name, but nothing broadcasting today. We checked the spectrum, checked the line, then heard the woman's voice a second time. Voices beyond static, breaking through another night. Voices beyond static, fading at the edge of sight. Call sign in the darkness, words between the noise. Someone left a moment still traveling as a voice. Beyond static, where have you been all this time? We searched the station archives, though the signal disappeared again. Station 4 had been a research shelter, higher on the ridge than where we stood. In February 1988, a sudden whiteout tracked a survey team. 6 researchers reached the eastern marker. Their final radio contact came at 1:16. Everyone survived, rescue crews found them the following afternoon. So this wasn't some unfinished tragedy. No missing people, no mystery death. Still the recording we were hearing wasn't stored anywhere inside our station system. Then the voice returned, wind turning south. Do not approach from Western Ridge. Our chief froze. That's not in the official transcript. The old rescue report said teams approached from the west. 2 vehicles became stranded and the operation lost 6 hours. If the warning had reached them, they would have chosen another route. But according to every surviving record, that message was never received. So how are we hearing it now? Voices beyond static, not a warning meant for us. Voices beyond static, something once was lost between the dust. Call sign through the darkness, sentence after noise. A moment never received, still carrying its voice. Voices beyond static, why return tonight? The atmosphere above the valley changed. Temperature inversion, overlapping air layers, unusual electrical activity. Our engineer began smiling, not because he had the answer, because he had a possibility. Hold the ghost story, check propagation first. Radio does strange things when conditions reverse. Signals then scatter, bounce where they shouldn't go. But 38 years later, that's a harder road. No atmosphere stores speech like a tape in the sky. So if we're hearing old words, there's another reason why. Check every repeater sitting high on the range. Old military relay, abandoned weather exchange. For the infrastructure maps, look beneath the snow. There's an analog repeater, nobody marked as closed. Built inside a bunker near the eastern face. Backup recording loop, once connected to the base. Power disconnected 1991, the mountain solar retrofit. Maybe somebody left one. Battery replaced by another research crew without knowing what the old recorder used to do. Signal hits the repeater under conditions just right. Oh, damage, memory buffer cycles fragments into night. Not storing 38 years in the atmosphere above. Just forgotten hardware, playing pieces that got stuck. Now trace the message, find the box. Don't destroy it when you climb, because that missing transmission is evidence from another time. And if one warning wasn't logged, what else did they never hear? Static isn't empty. Sometimes information simply disappears. It's sunrise, conditions finally cleared. We climbed toward the eastern ridge, half buried beneath ice. We found a relay bunker. The door had rusted shut. Inside, a rack of obsolete equipment still carried one green light. Our engineer traced the wiring. A small solar panel installed for a later avalanche sensor had accidentally powered part of the original system. The recorder was damaged, its memory loop repeated scattered fragments. Whenever if hearing it again felt strange, she said no. What feels strange is realizing how much of our lives depends on someone being there at the right moment to listen. Voices beyond static. Every sigh. Voices beyond static. Every sigh. Report came from a ranger who found silver water through the pines, 30 miles beyond the nearest coastline, moving through the roots in narrow lines. By noon the forest roads were closing, pools were forming underneath the trees, but the water wasn't rain or river. Every sample carried salt from seas. I joined the geological survey, sent to map the channels from the ridge where yesterday a dry ravine had rested. Now blue water flowed beneath the wooden bridge. No storm across the region, no reservoir had failed. Still the forest floor was breathing with the rhythm of the tide. Water rising, water gone, returning 6 short hours later on. Deep beneath the cedar ground, something joined the forest to an ocean without sound. Tides beneath the forest, blue between the ancient trees. Tides beneath the forest, how did an ocean find its way beneath the sea? Rising through the roots, falling with the moon, turning silent valleys into rivers every afternoon. Tides beneath the forest, there's another coastline somewhere underneath.
We place markers near the sinkholes and watch the water climb exactly twice a day. Every peak arrived 11 minutes after the harbor tide 2 counties away.
That delay became the answer. There had to be a passage underground, a buried limestone network running farther than the maps had ever found.
Then Ranger Ito brought a photograph taken by his grandfather as a child.
Same forest, same blue channel,
Dated 1949.
on the back, the sea returned today. Do not build beside the white stones. We searched the oldest land surveys for anything explaining what he'd seen. One handwritten map from 1890 showed a place labeled the Breathing Green. No road, no village, no official boundary, only a chain of circles leading west toward the sea. The modern highway crossed those circles, and beneath its newest tunnel, construction crews had recently drilled through an unknown wall of limestone. The first water appeared 3 days later. Tides beneath the forest, now the hidden pathway starts to show. Tides beneath the forest, following a road that stone remembers below. Not a curse, not a warning, not the mountain breaking free. Tides beneath the forest, an ancient system joining woodland to the sea. We entered the largest sinkhole when the water reached its lowest point. The passage descended through white limestone. Shell fragments cover the walls, far inland, far underground. Then we found wooden stakes, human-made, much older than the highway. Someone had known this passage existed long before us.
Boots on the limestone, read the layers in the wall. Ocean shells inland where no ocean should fall. Carbon dates coming, old records getting scanned. Turns out this whole forest wasn't always solid land. Thousands of years back, sea level running high. Water carved tunnels while the coastline passed nearby. Then the ocean pulled away, forest covered every trace, but the underground channels never fully left the place. Now check those wooden stakes, carved marks on every side. Same interval spacing as the modern harbor tide. People living here centuries ago understood. So water sometimes travels underneath the inland wood.
Not magic, not disaster, just geology with memories. Stone keeping pathways longer than human history. But here's where our problem becomes something new. Highway, tunnel drilling, broken natural seal through. Pressure changed underground, reopened what was closed. Now every coastal tide pushes inland where it flows. Don't seal it fast, don't blast the stone. You don't know what pressure does when redirected home. Map every chamber, measure every rise, because solving one problem wrong creates pause again. Half the valley outside could become a temporary sea. We left the cave before the next tide and brought the measurements back to town. Engineers proposed the concrete barrier to force the underground water down.
But an older hydrologist objected.
If you close the passage at the road,
Pressure finds another exit.
maybe beneath the houses.
So instead of fighting every current, we reopened channels blocked for years.
Old drainage valleys visible in 19th century maps were cleared beyond the eastern fields. The forest became the outlet.
Not the town.
For 3 nights everyone waited. Then the highest tide arrived. Water rose among the cedars. Tower trails surround the souls, but stopped exactly where the ancient map predicted. No houses flooded, no highway frailed. At dawn, the forest released to sea. Slowly, quietly, like it had done long before any road existed. Ito stood beside the white stones and said, my grandfather wasn't warning us to fear this place. He was warning us to understand. On the northern side of Kuroda Hill, 300 trees and one old farmhouse, though nobody had harvested them in years. The lawyer handed me a wooden box, a gate key, and a handwritten note. She'd written only 7 words: don't cut the trees before they bloom. I thought it sounded sentimental, something someone writes when saying goodbye. So I drove there late in March with pruning gloves and boxes in the back. The orchard looked completely ordinary until I climbed the hill. From above the rows weren't straight, they curved into shapes too deliberate day to be accidental. 30 trees turned east, 24 ran west. Every empty space connected with the next. I photographed the orchard from the ridge and saw a pattern I couldn't understand. The orchard keeps secrets written where the branches meet. The orchard keeps secrets buried underneath our feet. Every row is planted like a sentence without words. The orchard keeps secrets waiting for the spring to make them heard. I found my grandmother's planting records inside a cabinet behind the stove. Every tree had numbers, but no variety or harvest code. Instead, she wrote initials MKTSANHHY beside some names, a tiny circle beside others, nothing. The dates began in 1963 and ended almost 30 years later. One new tree every few months, sometimes 5 at once. I called my mother, asked what grandma had been doing. Then she answered, growing apples. I said, no, I mean before that. Silence. Then she helped people. What people? Another silence. I don't know. April brought the first blossoms. White flowers cover most of the hill, but certain trees bloomed pink, not randomly from the rid. The colors formed an arrow pointing toward the oldest section. I followed it past a collapsed irrigation ditch to a stone shed hidden beneath vines. Inside were hundreds of empty suitcases, each carrying the same initials as the orchard record. The orchard keeps secrets written where the branches meet. The orchard keeps secrets buried underneath our feet. Every row is planted like a sentence without words. The orchard keeps secrets waiting for the spring to make them heard. One suitcase wasn't empty. Inside, a train ticket, a factory identification card, 2 photographs, and a notebook. The notebook belonged to my grandmother. The first page read, if anyone finds this, the trees are not graves. I hadn't realized until that moment that I'd been afraid. They were. Read the notebook slow, let the decades unfold. Mountain town booming when the factory struck gold. Workers came temporary from regions far away. Cheap rooms, long
shit's barely enough pace. Some lost contracts, some got hurt, some had bosses holding documents, phone work. Some were running from a violent home. Some were teenagers with nowhere sick to go. Your grandmother had land in an empty storage room, started giving people shelter underneath the farmhouse roof. No organization, no headlines, no grand parade, just me and Jeff and Millis in the bay. But you needed one sister, one the bed already made. But you needed one sister, one somebody moved on to know who it's on. What started me for John, no fellow easy rhyme, dress set. Let us give a rule of dread, let us give a way too much, let us give a red. Just a picker said too much, so ready bust a better one gun. Cheating finger left the rituals and malicious, nothing gay, but accept if delicious already. But saying out when you're feeling fine, cheating you a little crooked by the worst spawn blank line. That's your map, that's a code, not where they died, but where they goes. Go.
And those suitcases, people left them when they traveled light. Different names, different clothes, starting over overnight. Look again at all the rows from 1963. You're not staring at a cemetery. You look departure, 300 living lyrics, 300 melodies. I stayed awake until the morning, reading every entry in the book. Mayumi found work in Osaka. Ken called from Sendai. Akira reunited with his brother. Yumi says the children like their school. Circles fly, the initials prove that someone reached a safer place. But nearly 30 names had no circles. Their story simply stopped at the final page. My grandmother had written, I used to think the missing circles meant failure. Now I understand. Sometimes people survive by never looking back. Another arrived the following weekend. She walked directly to a tree near the western fence. Initials RK, no circle. She touched the trunk and said, that's my father. I stared at her. The man I'd always called my grandfather was her stepfather. Her biological father had become violent when she was 6. One night, my grandmother took my mother and came to this orchard. He never found them. The first person my grandmother ever helped escape was herself. The orchard keeps secrets, not because the stood above the valley behind a university abandoned years ago. Its broken offices were scheduled for removal, but one glass building couldn't safely go. Every outer window had been painted so completely black it reflected no light. No one had entered since the caretaker locked the eastern doorway one winter night. I joined the survey on a Monday, expecting dust and benches overturned. But when we opened the first metal door, a wave of humid summer air returned. Beyond the second door, the darkness changed. Something green was moving underneath. No gardener, no open sky, no reason anything inside survived. Jet vines were climbing 30 feet, and warm mist gathered underneath the leaves. The last glass house breathing behind the wall. The last glass house growing while the outside garden falls. Roots in the darkness, leaves reaching wide. How did an entire world stay living here inside? The last glass house, what kept your hidden summer alive all this time? Our lights revealed enormous ferns and orchids hanging high above the floor. Trees we'd only seen in archive photographs were growing through the rusted iron supports. A narrow channel carried water from somewhere underneath the northern wall. Small silverfish moved through the current. No one spoke at all. Professor Hayashi found the control room covered underneath the flowering vine. Every pump was dead, every ventilation switch had failed in 1999. Yet temperature remained almost perfectly stable day and night. Then we found condensation running through the stone line reservoir. The building was watering itself. The original research files described an experiment to close environments. Rainwater captured from the roof, heat stored underground, air moved through temperature differences. It had been designed to reduce mechanical dependence. The experiment was officially declared a failure 3 years after it began. The record said, system instability collection removed. Clearly, the collection had never been removed. And clearly, the system hadn't failed. The last glass house, you never stopped at all. The last glass house, seasons turning underneath. keeps returning. Warmth rises from below. A forgotten little climate found another way to grow. The last glass house. Why did they write that everything was gone? Behind the control room, we discovered a narrow office. Someone had lived there. A folding bed, a kettle, books about tropical ecology. On the desk, a calendar ended 6 months after the greenhouse was supposedly emptied. Beside it, a cassette recorder. The final tape was labeled for when they opened the doors. Press play, old tape, hear the caretaker speak. Voice commentary, but the message isn't weak. My name is Dr. Mina Kurosi. If you're hearing this, somebody finally came this way. She designed the passive system, fought to keep it running. Funding boards and numbers when producing enough for something. Landed value project budget getting cut. Moving rare plants with a cost of way too much. So report says clear, reality says no. Administration planned to let the whole collection go. Caretaker couldn't accept thousands of specimens dying. Stayed after closure, kept the basic system surviving. And something unexpected happened year by year. Less intervention made the ecosystem shift and steer. Some species vanished, others filled the space. Pollinators adapted, vines changed where they chase. She documented everything, not a perfect still machine. More like life negotiating every gap between. Roof captured, rainfall, stone held, heat deep. Channel connected to a natural spring beneath. She stayed 6 months, then illness made her leave. Asked former colleagues to keep the door sealed carefully. Not because the place was dangerous, and not because of some forbidden plan. She wanted to discover how long the system could stand. Then her final words: if it survives without us, don't call that proof we weren't needed. Call it proof that life doesn't always need the kind of control we think it does. We searched for Dr. Kuro's, expecting another unanswered name. Instead we found her living in a small coastal town 200 miles away. She was 87 when we showed her photographs. She stared at every image without speaking, then asked, is the blue orchid still there? Hayashi enlarged one photograph behind a fern near the eastern wall. A cluster of tiny blue flowers. She laughed. I spent 12 years trying to make that thing bloom. We asked if she wanted to visit the greenhouse. She answered, no. It seems to be doing fine without my advice. The demolition was cancelled for preservation. Created another question. Do we restore the greenhouse? Replace the broken structures? Control the temperature? Remove invasive growth? Dr. Kuro's wrote back, repair what will collapse then. The mine reopened after 40 winters, when the northern cliff collapsed in spring. Workers found a chamber behind sandstone, filled with amber underneath the seam. I arrived with the university team, expecting insects frozen into gold. But the largest pieces held no wings, no leaves, no creatures from a vanished world. Instead they carry narrow, darkened bands, running evenly from edge to edge. 7 short, 3 long, 7 short again. The same arrangement in every piece we checked. Nature repeats, but really like a measured line. We counted every interval and wrote down every sign. Under ordinary light, the bands were almost gone. Under ultraviolet, they answered one by one. Signals through amber, golden fragments speaking without words. Signals through amber, patterns from a word that can't be heard. Light after darkness, light after line. Something left a rhythm far behind our time. Signals through amber, tell us what you carried before we arrive. The oldest sample came from deeper, where the resin layer crossed volcanic stone. Its pattern wasn't quite identical. One extra band to appear before the law. Our physicists called it contamination. Our botanists disagreed. If every layer changes slightly, maybe we're not looking at a code, maybe we're looking at a clock. We mapped the levels, temperature, pressure, mineral flow. Nothing matched until a student named Tycho placed the sequence beside an ancient rainfall reconstruction. The peaks aligned, each bright band marked a season when enormous forest fires filled the air. Each dark interval represented years when the ancient climate settled there. The resin wasn't sending messages, so was recording them. Chemical changes caused by smoke had altered how the amber reacted under light. Millions of years compressed into luminous stripes. Then we reached the final sequence, and everyone stopped talking. The last layer showed a pattern unlike the rest. Not one fire, hundreds across a geological instant. Signals through amber, not a voice but evidence preserved. Signals through amber, ancient seasons waiting to be observed. Light after darkness, year after year, a forest growth is history before a human ear. Signals through amber, every golden fragment makes the vanish clear. We expected the final layer to correspond with a known extinction. It didn't. The date was wrong by almost 2 million years. Either our measurements had failed, or the accepted timeline was incomplete. Then a miner brought us a piece he'd found 20 years earlier. He had kept it because his daughter liked its color. Its bands matched the unknown layer exactly, but instead the amber was something else. A tiny seed, perfectly preserved from a plant that, according to every reference book, should not have existed yet. Okay, don't jump straight to rewriting every page. One strange seed doesn't overturn an age. Check the sample, check the side, check where the miner stood. Could've slipped from younger sediment into older wood. Run the imagining map, the fractures steady. Every grain look for modern resin, look for contamination stains. Independent labs get pieces with the labels blind. If the dates come back different, then you know you need more time. Science ain't a movie where one genius yells it's true. It's 10 people trying hard to prove the finding isn't new. Question every measurement, question what you wanna see, especially when the answer fits your favorite theory. Weeks go by, results return, same age from 3 labs. Now the room begins to turn. Seed is real, layers real, still don't write the headline. Get search, museum drawers or samples. Everybody might forget Berlin has 1, Kyoto has 2. Private collection photographer 1962. Same little seed, same band, same geological zone. Now the anomaly isn't standing alone. Maybe the plant evolved earlier, maybe classification changed. Maybe ancient ecosystems were more complicated than we named. No aliens, no prophecy, no message from the dead. Just evidence politely saying, look again at what you said. The discovery made the morning papers, though the headline missed the careful parts. Impossible plant found in amber, printed underneath a giant question mark. For months we studied related layers and eventually found enough to show the plant family had emerged much earlier than the textbooks previously had known. Nothing supernatural happened, no kin civilization, no impossible machine. Only one small branch on life's enormous tree. Move backward through deep time, but something about those glowing bands stayed with me. A forest had survived as information without intending to leave anything. We always talk about discovery, but my past is waiting to be found. But the past doesn't owe us answers, it leaves fragments, stone, pollen, reason, bone. Under ultraviolet, they answered one by one. The library closed for renovation after cracks appeared beneath the western floor. I was helping move the local archives when a bookshelf shifted from the wall. Behind it stood a narrow iron doorway with no number written on the frame. The building plan showed nothing past it, but a staircase disappeared beneath the basement. We called the architect and waited until permission came to look below. 27 steps led to a corridor where warm electric stared at me. That's impossible. Across the room, a model apartment tower had scaffolding around its eastern side. The real building above us was being repaired that week. Someone had updated the model recently. We searched between the paper neighborhoods until we found a work table near the rear. Fresh glue, sharp blades, stacks of colored card, and a cup of tea. Still warm. A handwritten ledger filled the desk beginning 1958. Each page recorded changes to the city. New school opened, old cinema closed. Bakery became pharmacy. Family moved from number 24, but the entries weren't about architecture. They describe people. Mrs. Heedle feeds the alley cats at 6. Mr. Clark sings badly while opening his shop. Children race bicycles behind the market. Someone leaves flowers at the bridge every Thursday. No famous names, no politicians, no historic ceremonies, only ordinary habits recorded for almost 70 years. Paper kingdom underground, folded streets without a sound. Paper kingdom underground, every corner mirrors what we built above the ground. Little doors and painted signs, keeping ordinary moments safe from time. Paper kingdom underground, who's been rebuilding us when no one's been around? Then we found ourselves a miniature library beside the paper square. Inside its western room, 3 tiny figures stood beside a bookshelf. One wore my yellow jacket, one held the architect's rolled plans. But the third figure was someone we hadn't met. An elderly woman holding a pair of scissors. Footsteps sounded behind us. Turn around slow, now the mystery gets a face. 80-something woman walking calmly through the place. Scissors in her pocket, paper dust along her sleeve. Looks at all of you like she can't believe you're surprised to see. My name is Annie, please don't touch the northern wall. The glue is still drying and those buildings like to fall. No ghost, no secret order, no machine predicting days. Just one woman maintaining what generations made. Her father started models after wartime streets were changed. Dead photographs show buildings but forget how people behave. So neighbors brought story, children brought designs. Shopkeepers brought rappers, tickets, labels, little signs. Every generation chose another keeper for the room. Someone who would listen while the city changed the buzz. And he learned at 17, kept it quiet all these years. Updated every storefront, every garden, every pier. But how'd she know your jacket? She laughs and points upstairs. Security camera by the archive. I've been watching since you came in there. And yesterday's headline printed from the morning news. The scaffolding public works announced it weeks ago too. Nothing supernatural, still the strangest thing you've seen. A city's unofficial memory, built from paper, blue, and dreams. Then Emmy gets serious, looks toward the model square. There's one part of this kingdom I don't know how to repair. She led us to a paper neighborhood where half the buildings have been taken down. The real district of Bobbin was scheduled for demolition to make room for towers and a shopping complex. Emmy held a model grocery store. My father bought rice here when he had almost nothing. Then a tiny laundromat. 3 marriages started while people waited for machines. Then a narrow staircase, no historical value, she said, but someone learned to walk there. The city preservation board would save none of it, and she wasn't asking them to. She only wanted time to record the stories before the streets changed. I asked her why the paper city mattered if nobody was allowed to know. She looked across the miniature rooftops and sighed. Morning pulled the water from the harbor, far beyond the rusted eastern pier. Scarlet lines appeared across the shallows, burning through the surface bright and clear.
From the hill, the patterns look like mirrors broken into hundreds on the sand. Every criminal Crumbs and fragments face the shoreline like a buried map.
Beneath the land, no storm across the bay before it. No warning marked the changing tides. Still the red reflections kept returning every time the water slipped aside. Across the harbor floor, a hidden pattern grows. The farther that the water falls, the brighter every pathway glows. Mirrors over at harbor, shining underneath the tide. Mirrors over at harbor, turning all the darkness into light. Crimson on the water, fire with the flame. Every broken reflection leads me deeper through the bay. Mirrors over at harbor, something underneath is coming into sight.
Oh, photographs reveal the difference where houses once covered half the shore before the harbor moved its main operations to the newer terminals
In the north,
One image showed a row of signal towers standing where the scarlet patches burned. He's carried polished copper panels angled toward the ships.
back as they returned. Decades underneath the harbor water should have turned the metal dark and green. Still the fragments underneath the sediments flash with colors strangely bright and clean. We trace the pattern from the breakwater to the channel missing from the charts. Every red reflection formed a marker, separating into branching paths. Mirrors over at harbor, shining underneath the tide. Mirrors over at harbor, turning all the darkness into light. Crimson on the water, fire with the flame. Every broken reflection leads me deeper through the bay. Mirrors over at harbor, something underneath is coming into sight.
At the lowest tide we crossed the shoreline, following the longest crimson chain. Fragments rested underneath clear water, locked between the concrete
And the clay.
Beyond the final marker lay a structure almost completely hidden by the sand. Rows of narrow chambers face the ocean, with a building to an older harbor plan.
Inside the first we found the treasure, only hooks and numbered wooden frames. Weather tags remain along the ceiling, each one carrying a vessel name.
The chambers formed an emergency harbor built after storms had taken boats offshore. A sheltered roof for damaged fishing vessels, long forgotten.
When they built the modern porch, the crimson trail was never made to hide a secret from the day. It marked the safest water when the storm had washed the sights away.
Red flash, tied back, map that track. On port buried, but the roof stays stacked. Copper on stone with the angle set. Catch that sun when the harbor gets wet.
Stormline system from another age. No screen glow, no digital gauge. Light hit metal, bounce to the bay. Got damage, bolts to the safer way. Years move fast and the shoreline shifts. Cargo moves north on the old town drifts. Maps get changed in the marker state. Concrete comes down where the shelter stays.
But metal stays low when the mud runs in. One instant hits and the wreck takes in. Piece by piece, every flash connects. Old school engineering still reflects. No coded threat, no phantom sign. Just hands that measured every harbor line. Built for the night when the waves ran high. Made to bring the working boats inside.
Now the sea pulls back and the truth runs bright. Red on the water in the morning light. Past meets present when the angles align. Harbor keeps rhythm and the coast keeps time. Record from the maritime archive, filled the missing years with names and dates. 3 major storms had struck the region before construction of the harbor gates.
The shelter saved 100 vessels, over 20 winters on the coast.
Then stronger walls replaced the system,
And the older route was slowly lost. One vote of reprimand among the records cruised together underneath the rain.
behind them every copper marker,
Float along the harbor.
like a chain.
The final restoration plan was simple.
Not to raise the structures from the sea,
Leave the chambers where the builders placed them.
and preserve the root beneath the beach. When the water falls, the harbor changes shape. Old lines return across the open bay. Nothing needs to rise, nothing needs to disappear. The past can share the shoreline with the future growing. nights without a break. The condemned apartments by the river were coming down as soon as skies became safe. I worked with the relocation office, checking every unit one last time, making sure no belongings had been forgotten before the demolition crews arrived. Building C was completely empty, every resident had moved 2 weeks before. But on the 7th floor corridor, wet footprints crossed the floor, bare feet, small ones, leading from the stairwell to apartment 74. No broken lock, no open pane, no reason anybody should be there again. I followed every mark until they ended at the door. Then from inside I heard something fall onto the floor. Footprints under rain, who keeps walking through these empty rooms again? Footprints under rain, every little step is pointing somewhere we forgot. Walls about to fall, names already gone, still somebody's story keeps the hallway holding on. Footprints under rain, tell me what was left behind before this place is gone. Security unlocked the apartment, no one waited there. The rooms were stripped, the cupboards empty, except a wooden ruler lying underneath the chair. Pencil marks ran up one side, a child's height recorded year by year. Maya age 4, Maya age 5, Maya age 6. The final mark stopped halfway beside it. Next year I'll reach the window. I checked the relocation files, no Maya had lived in 74. Not recently, but an archive search from the name 21 years earlier. Maya Chen, age 6, apartment 74. Footprints under rain, who keeps walking through these empty rooms again? Footprints under rain, every little step is pointing somewhere we forgot. Walls about to fall, names already gone, still somebody's story keeps the hallway holding on. Footprints under rain, tell me what was left behind before this place is gone. Maya's family left the building after the flood of 2005. The record showed emergency relocation, no forwarding address, no return. The old flood report mentioned building C, 7th floor, as a temporary shelter. Hundreds from the lower blocks reclined upstairs while river water filled the streets. Apartment 74 had become a children's room for 3 nights. Then I found a photograph, 20 children sitting on blankets. On the wall behind them was the same wooden ruler, covered in names. The one we'd found had been turned over. We went back, removed it carefully. On the reverse side, 27 names, 27 height marks, and beneath them, when the water goes down, we go home.
Now check the weather, check the current river gauge. Same kind of rainfall as the old disaster page. Building's empty now, but neighborhood remembers that floor. People sheltered upstairs when the water hit the door. Those wet prints, let's not make a ghost out of a clue. Roof drain, crack, water traveling where it shouldn't move. Pipe runs over stairwell, leaks behind the wall. Hits old floor channels underneath the 7th ball.
But why footprints? Look closer at the tile. Different sealant where small feet stood for a while. Years ago kids painted footprints during shelter days. Maintenance, clean the artwork, but chemicals remain. When water crosses tiles, those treated shapes resist. Drive faster than the floor, leaving footprints in the mist. Not somebody walking out a job, returning home. Just invisible old patterns, rain revealed upon the stone. And the sound behind the door, window frame expanding in the cold. Wooden ruler fell because the melting strip was old.
Mystery solved, but don't mistake, often meaningless. Those footprints still uncovered something records almost missed.
27 children shared that room, 27 families made it through. Now the building's coming down, and maybe before it does,
Someone ought to ask them
what that hallway meant to us. We delayed demolition not for months, just 7 days, long enough to find the families from the photograph. 9 still live nearby, 5 entered through relatives,
4 had moved overseas.
some names we couldn't trace. Then an email arrived from Vancouver.
Subject,
Maya Chen,
apartment 74.
she knows I remember that ruler. I remember thinking if I grew tall enough, I could see whether the water was gone.
She was 27 now.
An architect, she asked if the building could be saved.
I told her honestly,
No, the foundations aren't safe.
her reply came quickly.
Then save the ruler. On demolition morning, rain was still falling. Former residents stood behind the safety line. Nobody pretended the building was beautiful. It rained. The
because at the right moment it held
Footprints under rain. Footprints under rain. A banner for the whole district vanished. Every tower dropped into the dark. Traffic signals died along the crossing. Elevators froze between the floors. I was finishing the evening broadcast at a tiny station near the bay. Emergency lights came on behind me. Then the main transmission slipped away. Phones began to ring without an answer. Backup lines were failing one by one. Our engineer shouted from the hallway, we have maybe 20 minutes before the reserve is done. Outside the window, nothing moved, no billboards, no apartment lights. Only headlights turning slowly through the night. Then through the static, someone broke across our line.
a weak transmission.
Not police,
Not fire.
just a voice saying, can anybody hear me?
We're still inside.
Blackout frequency, keep that signal alive. Blackout frequency, someone's calling through the night. No address, no clear name, only fragments breaking through the waves. Blackout frequency, stay with me. We'll find where you are tonight. The caller disappeared in seconds, then returned on another band. A woman said there were 11 people waiting somewhere they could barely stand. She mentioned water near the doorway, metal stairs, a generator room. Then static swallowed every sentence before she could tell us where they'd gone.
The emergency services were overloaded, half the city calling at the same time.
So we stayed beside the transmitter, trying to rebuild a broken line.
One phrase came through clearly.
Lower archive.
Our producer turned toward me.
The municipal records building has a basement archive.
It stood 6 blocks away.
Beside the river. Blackout frequency, keep that signal alive. Blackout frequency, someone's calling through the night. No address, no clear name, only fragments breaking through the waves. Blackout frequency, stay with me. We'll find where you are tonight. Rain had started in the northern hills. The river warning system had gone down. Without electric pumps beneath the district, storm drained slowly back across the town.
We called the wreckers, building direct like nothing. Then a security guard listening from his car reached our broadcast.
He said the lower archive has no windows. If the pumps stop, water reaches it fast.
We sent the information to emergency command, but every available rescue crew was somewhere else then.
Listeners began calling.
One had a portable pump,
Another owned a delivery truck.
a plumber knew the building layout, a retired maintenance worker
Still had an old service key.
I told him,
Don't enter, wait for emergency
but
crews.
the important part was already happening.
People were connecting information
Piece by piece.
across the dark.
Listen close, this ain't a hero running into danger scene. This is information moving where the lights can't reach. Driver on the west side says the underpass is closed. Cyclist near the river says there's one remaining road.
Nurse at the clinic got 11 names. Security confirms they're probably the same. Maintenance guy remembers basement room B. Archive level 2 near the emergency stair C.
Pass it to dispatch, verify before you send. No rumors on the air, don't let confusion spread.
One wrong location wastes a rescue team, so every little detail gets checked before it leaves.
Then a caller says,
I hear a diesel engine,
3 blocks south.
maybe rescue beginning. Another says the river just crossed Mark and 4.
Another sees responders entering the service door.
Now the station isn't music, isn't ads, isn't news. If the wireman, if strangers passing, only what is useful.
Battery at 12%.
Transmitter running hot.
Engineer says 10 more minutes, maybe that's all that we got.
Then the woman's voice returns fainter than before.
Water at the second step.
Please tell my daughter I'm okay.
No, don't make that the final line.
Keep talking.
Tell us something.
Anything.
How many steps?
What do you see?
Can you hear the rescue crew?
Static.
Then 3 knocks.
Pause.
3 more.
Somebody on the other side is knocking too. The entire station went silent.
For 6 seconds.
Backup power dropped.
Returned.
I leaned toward the microphone.
This is Harbor Radio.
If you're in the lower archive, make noise now.
They're outside.
A firefighter called
We've reached the basement.
Nobody in the studio moves. We heard voices behind him
Shouting numbers
1, 2, 3, 4
until
11. We've got 11.
our engineer sat down on the floor. The producer covered both their eyes.
I forgot for several seconds that I was still alive.
Then calls began arriving from everywhere.
Not celebration,
Information,
a pharmacy with backup power,
a shelter needing blankets,
a nursing home requesting bottled water.
a family searching for their father.
The night wasn't finished, so neither were we. The reserve battery reached 5%.
We couldn't stay much longer.
I looked. I looked. Every autumn when the water lowered, people gathered on the eastern shore to watch the ruins of the old stone village slowly rise from Hollow Lake once more. Broken walls appeared between the ripples, chimneys surfaced underneath the gray, but nobody crossed the warning markers. The reservoir still shifted every day. My mother brought me there each October ever since I was a little girl. She never photographed the ruins, she only listened, because sometimes just before the evening wind, a bell could be heard from somewhere on the lake. No tower standing, no rope to pull. The old church had been underwater for 50 years or more. Still one clear note would cross the shore, and every older face would turn toward it. Bells across Hollow Lake, calling where the drowned roads disappear. Bells across Hollow Lake, one forgotten sound returning every year. Water keeps the rooftops, mud remembers names. A village doesn't vanish just because the shoreline changed. Bells across Hollow Lake, why does one old note still find us here?
The valley flooded in the 70s when the reservoir was built upstream. 300 people moved to higher ground before the river covered everything. The church bell went to the new town hall, at least that's what the official history said. But when I visited the hall, the bell and display was dated 1894. The village photograph showed another bell, larger, older, cracked and low inside. No record said where that one went. My mother knew, she finally told me on the drive back home.
My father helped hide it.
My grandfather had been 19 when evacuation reached its final week. The village council planned to melt the damaged bell for scrap, but several families objected. It had rung for weddings, storms, funerals, harvest mornings, and the end of 2 wars. So 6 young villagers removed it during the night. They couldn't carry it uphill. The trucks were already gone. Instead they placed it inside an old stone boathouse above the expected water line, or what they thought would be above it.
The reservoir rose higher than the engineers first predicted. The boathouse disappeared, and so did the bells across Hollow Lake. Now I know what waits beneath the blue. Bells across Hollow Lake, something they tried desperately to carry through. Not a ghost, not a warning, not a voice beneath the waves. Bells across Hollow Lake, just one piece of home they couldn't save.
A drought lowered the reservoir farther than anyone remembered. The foundations of the boathouse appeared for the first time. We received permission to survey the structure.
My mother came with us, she was 72 and had never walked her father's old village streets.
step through the mud where the main road ran, mapping your hand from a long gone town. Plan break a break under there, schoolhouse left. Every M foundation got a story underneath your mother points.
That's where my father was born.
Nothing there now but grass and stone. She knows every street from stories at night. A hometown inherited without seeing it in life. Now reach the boardhouse wall collapsed. East search with the magic, but for moving any piece metal response underneath the floor. Big enough, deep enough, big enough, maybe what you're looking for. But here's a twist: bell ain't hanging free. It's went in stone where the old roof used to be. When reservoir drops and evening temperature falls, metal contracts slightly against those walls. Wind moves water, pressure's just stone. Bellage vibrates with one low tone. That's the sound crossing Hollow Lake. Physics and memory in the same small shape. No phantom pulling ropes underneath the tide. Just where the fine binding metal people left inside. Does explanation make the moment less deep? Nah, knowing how it happens doesn't cancel what you keep.
Sometimes mystery opens the door. Understanding lets you walk through more.
Now the question,
Pull it out,
take it away.
your mother says, ask everyone
Who once lived here before deciding today?
We contacted former villagers. Some wanted the bell recovered. Some wanted it left exactly where it had rested.
One woman wrote,
If you move it,
the old village loses its last voice.
another answered,
If you leave it, soon corrosion will take everything.
there was no perfect choice.
So that spring,
The community voted,
recover the bell, preserve it.
but return it to the lake.
Every autumn,
Not underwater,
on a temporary wooden frame beside the exposed village road.
where anyone could ring it. My mother was given.
The first pull of the rope,
She stood there longer than anyone expected.
then the cracked bell sounded.
Not the faint note.
We heard across the water,
This was enormous,
rough.
imperfect, alive. She closed her eyes and said,
My father told me,
I know that sound if I ever heard it.